Climate change is likely to bring unavoidable and irreversible consequences with important impacts on human health. It's equally important to adapt to what's been called the new climate normal, one of greater variability and extremes in temperature and precipitation. More frequent and severe storms and heat waves will bring injury and death, as we've seen in heat waves in Paris and Moscow in the recent past. And changes in disease vectors bring risk of mosquito-borne disease, more pollen increases risk of allergies.
Cities are on the front lines of the impact of climate change. The most dramatic type of example of this is the heat wave. Heat waves can come and paralyze a city. They can knock out power. They can create an incredible metabolic stress for vulnerable people such that tens or scores or even hundreds can die.
We can learn a lot from each other. Barcelona shares the challenges that probably Rome or Milano or Athens have in Southern Europe, and it also has the same sort of issues that are posed in Los Angeles or in San Francisco in California.
It's hard to imagine a long-term threat more serious to the health and vitality of a city than climate change, and responding to that threat is got to be one of the top priorities for city leaders.
In any kind of success in public policy, you need to make a process which is coming basically from bottom up, okay? So you need first to create this kind of social awareness of people about the problem that it is actually on the table, okay? And then you need to make a plan, and a strategic plan to face this problem. And of course, I mean, the only way to do this is just to providing scientific knowledge to the politicians.
Even when we know what works and what doesn't work, it's very difficult for decision makers and for city managers to access that evidence.
Sharing information can help to identify the best ways to protect our population.
What we are trying to do at this moment is to build a center, a global center, that will actually give those people the possibility to access the best evidence and start implementing the best practices in their communities.
Cities can learn from each other. Some communities are already experimenting with what works best to reduce our vulnerability and to enhance capacities to reduce the effects of climate change.
Interesting enough, not much attention has been paid to the impact of climate change on the well-being, quality of life of the populations. Some interesting work has been done on the impact of the irreversible climate change on finances, on water, on many different things, on transport, but not on the quality of life and well-being of the populations. The uniqueness of this proposal is not only the subject, but also the sponsorship of the project. Because here you have two major academic centers of enormous reputation, well-deserved reputation, on both sides of the North Atlantic.
The Climate Healthy Cities Project is one of the center's priority partnerships. Through this network, cities will exchange best practice solutions aimed at protecting health from the impact of climate change.
Universities have to engage in the fight against suffering. We need the force of academics, not only the force of the social organizations, and we are putting all that in our priorities as a university.